This coke in the Midas touch and choking the way that we rest and bleed again. And you find lost and you feel what you found. When a word comes, no tearing down. There'll be holes in the water, there'll be birds on the ground, there'll be things you never asked her, oh how they tear at you
Hey.
Alrighty.
All right, man. You all set for another episode? Are you there, Rob? Okay. Well, I think I lost him right off the bat. I did. How about that? It's like, are you going to be able to stay in your seat tonight, man? Okay, so we're having a little bit of internet trouble tonight.
Hello.
There you are. All right.
We can get started.
So it's all those flying saucers out there in New York, you know, or wait a minute, drones.
Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey. The Jersey drones. Wow. Well, maybe we'll talk about something tonight. In the meantime, thank you all for showing up. Normally we have a show tonight. Looks like we just have internet issues. Okay, so I'm thinking your connection is a little spotty here, buddy.
I think so. I mean, it is storming here, so maybe that.
Oh, yeah, we've had snow all day today, but not heavy. So
Yeah, no, I mean, just a lot of rain. That's about it, but odd. Okay. Well, hopefully the connection sticks.
We'll roll right into it.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, welcome to episode 78 of the Update Log. I'm Rob, your host, and this is Greg, my co-host, as always. And spotty connection aside, hopefully it was just not a little bit there. We're in the less than a month. Less like what, 20 some odd days.
Yeah, 3 weeks, man.
Yeah,
Not
3
even.
weeks of 2024 before we finish up. Tomorrow is a video game awards. I think they're coming up on their 10th year,
Yeah,
10th or
10th
11th year,
anniversary this year.
10th anniversary. Okay, going to be tomorrow at 7:30 for those of you who want to watch. And what a year it's been in the industry as a whole. Whether you're a tabletop game enjoyer, whether you enjoy your PC console games, it's been a year. We've seen a number of really good games come out. We've seen a number of really not so good games come out, and again, that is personal opinion. What I find fun and enjoyable, someone can hate, and vice versa.
So what?
Maybe
So
hate.
what do you find fun and enjoyable? Let's dive into that.
Yeah, let's jump into that. Okay, so and same question to you, Greg. When it's your turn.
Nothing. I
Nothing.
oppose fun. No fun.
Greg, your old man is showing. Let's see. For me, well, lately I've been really enjoying two particular games. Path of Exile 2, which just went into early access the 6th, so 5 days ago, not even a week. It'll be a week Friday. It went into early access Friday at 2. Well, I think the time was slated for 2 p.m. EST, but I think they were having some server issues, so I didn't actually get kicked up until I think 3 or 4. But so it's been in early access for a bit. The game, according to Grinding Gear Games, which is a studio out of New Zealand that created Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile 1, we'll get into their story here in a little bit, but the game is about 80, I'd say 80%, 80 to 90% done. We got the first 3 acts of the game. It's a 6-act total, at least base game, not including any extra content that they're going to be adding over the years. So base campaign is 6 acts, which is 4 less than Path of Exile 1. Path of Exile 1 was 10 acts total. Updated graphics and all, but it's a new game. It's still set in the universe that Path of Exile 1 created, but it's a brand new game, which has ruffled a couple feathers in the Path of Exile community, for good and for ill. So that game, that's what I've been enjoying the last 5 days, and Owlcat's Rogue Trader, which is a CRPG akin to Baldur's Gate 3. The Owlcat creators of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous and Pathfinder Kingmaker. I think it was those 2 games. I think they might have made another game, but definitely those 2 games. Those are the games I've been kind of enjoying so far. Both of them for the story. Obviously more Rogue Trader than Path of Exile 2, even though Path of Exile 2 has a good story, but as an ARPG, or for those unfamiliar, action RPG. So think of your hack and slash, your Gauntlet, your Diablo 2. Those are action RPGs. I'm going to say they're not necessarily terrible stories, they're just light on the story aspect. The real draw for those games is blowing up a whole screen full of enemies. But I've been enjoying Path of Exile, especially for the story, and Rogue Trader for the story, but also just the difference in systems and what have you. Been doing they've been really putting out some good stuff. Path of Exile 2 is hard, is difficult, and for many reasons that we can get into. But I guess for me, a long-winded answer:
Very, very
gameplay
long-winded
and story. Hey. That coming from you. I don't want to hear it. Story and gameplay, and I know that that's kind of broad, but I like in-depth quality story, and I like in-depth and quality gameplay. I like gameplay that's going to make me think, that's going to kind of engage me just as much as a story. At least from those type of games. But what about you, Greg? What do you find fun? And yeah, welcome in, Foxy Project. It's always great to have you.
I feel like I've talked about this several times now, but I mean, it's story, man. That's my main thing.
That's it. So you don't care about graphics or none of that?
Well, no, I can't say that because I mean, I feel a little bit spoiled with the graphics, where graphics has gone now, and with a lot of the stuff that I've been looking at recently with like Upheaval AI's creations and So yeah, okay, graphics is growing on me. I like my graphics, but I also like, I like older cheesy games too that don't have the greatest of graphics, and some that are not so old, like 7 Days to Die. I mean, that doesn't have the greatest graphics, but it's a good mind-numbing
Still a good game. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, I mean, well, here's a question to you. What have you been playing lately? When you have a moment to yourself.
I have those. I have moments to myself.
For those of you who don't know, Greg does not have much time to himself.
Who makes
He's very bit-
All right, Garrus, quit
Who
calling
makes
me out.
games that include a story? Man, welcome in. Cool, man,
I
Garrus.
mean, and obviously I'm a Cyberpunk buff, so I
Yes.
really, Cyberpunk 2077, the Phantom Liberty expansion to that, and I am really, really looking forward to
Welcome in, Gemma.
seeing
Long time no see.
the Project Horizon piece, which is supposed to be
Project
there's more
Orion.
Orion, I'm sorry, yeah. So anyway, that's supposed to be a like Cyberpunk 2077 2 or 2078 maybe or something. I don't know what the actual name's going to be yet. They haven't really announced that.
Yeah, they haven't really kind of given us much in the way of details on that. They did say, from what I understand, they said it is going to take place in obviously the 2070s, whether it's 2077, just kind of an alternate story, or maybe 2078 or 2070. It's going to take place in and around that, the 2077 year, from what I understand. At least current. Again, it's still very, very early pre-production stage, so they can change their mind.
Well, there's a few things that they've talked about already. For one, V is not going to be in it.
Yeah, V's not going to make an appearance. And I don't believe Johnny Silverhand is going to make another appearance, which kind of makes me sad because I love Keanu Reeves as as an actor, as a creative individual.
Well, right, but how many people can have that chip in their head? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
'Cause
Exactly.
That's where he exists. So
yeah, exactly. And it just wouldn't make sense to bring back that character.
yeah, I found this guy named V or girl named V, and I shot her and pulled the chip out of her head, stuck it in my own.
It's just Johnny Silverhand just gonna be it's like a virus, just going from
just
person
passing
to person.
from person to person, right?
Yeah. and well, I mean, I think 2077 told the Johnny Silverhand, Alt Cunningham, that the samurai story wrapped it up neatly, in my opinion.
Well,
especially considering, for those of you who know the history of those characters, those are player characters from the old crew.
Yeah.
that Mike Pondsmith and Lisa Pondsmith. I believe Lisa played Holt Cunningham. I know Mike Pondsmith's character was Blackhand.
Hey, Johnny Mnemonic was not a bad movie, man. That actually
Johnny Mnemonic was a fantastic. Who's talking shit about Johnny Mnemonic? Okay, our old man Garris.
it's
Nah,
our
Johnny
favorite
Mnemonic
favorite
was-
shit talkers talking shit about Johnny Mnemonic.
Okay. I love Johnny Mnemonic. And it's different because I went back and watched a lot of like the cyberpunk-esque movies after we started playing Cyberpunk, and they definitely landed different after playing the game, after diving into that universe. I didn't look at them the same way.
In answer to your the question you asked earlier, Garrus, about who makes games that include a story, I there are some video games that I love video games too, but I am more on the side of the TTRPGs and the story piece to it. I would rather create my own story, and that's something that Foxy really kind of Street Preachy was sick.
Street Preacher was sick. Yeah, Dolph Lundgren's character. I didn't realize it was Dolph Lundgren until I watched it like a second time. I was like, that motherfucker looks so familiar. And then I topped it. I was like, that's fucking Ivan Drago. I guess this is what happened after
Wow.
after Rocky beat him.
That's how you remember Dolph Lundgren's after Rocky.
I mean, yeah. Well, that was his first performance. Was Rocky 4?
Was it?
Yeah, that was his first performance. I'm like almost 90% sure Rocky 4 was his first performance.
Yeah, he really needed those upgrades. Yep. I think so. Something that Foxy had hit on, though, games like 7 Days to Die do lend themselves very well to you creating your own story. But
yeah,
I think a creative mind can create its own story with a lot of, I'm not going to say all, but with a lot of games. I mean, I create my own story when I play Cyberpunk 2077. Here's the controversial piece for you. I'm kind of glad that B's not going to be in the next one.
So am I. Because again, for me, his story is wrapped up.
I hope you can name your own damn character in the next one.
Exactly. That's my thing. One of the things that I hope they did do in the second iteration of the Cyberpunk game is they lean more into the character building aspect of the Cyberpunk universe. I mean, V was a fun character. The story that they told was a good story, but it was someone else's story. It wasn't my story.
Right.
And that was the annoying part about that.
Granted, you can do what you want with your V, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't. You're basically just your V. I mean. Maybe I didn't want to be
exactly. Maybe I wanted to be, Flapjack McGee or some shit. I don't know. Flapjack McGee, the nomad who fixes bikes and stuff like that, and wants to live a simple life with his synth cat, his fake little cat or something.
I wasn't going to say anything about that, Garrus, because I didn't want to call anybody out or anything, but yeah.
His first movie was a James Bond movie? Really? Well, both of you also have to understand that Rocky 4 was before I was born.
Oh, here we go. Age is the excuse now. I see. All right.
Actually, hold on. Wait a minute. Was Rocky 4? No, Rocky 4 was not before I was born.
Rocky 4 wouldn't have been.
No, but the first two were. Rocky 4. Hold on. I gotta look this up now. Because that's... So this Rocky 4
That's why we love you, man. Well, one of the reasons.
Oh, no, it was, actually. It was before I was born. It was made in 85.
Yeah, the Cold War era.
Yeah.
They had that whole, it was still the Soviet Union. It wasn't Russia.
Yeah. So that was before I was born. 3 years, in fact. But I mean, it was still one of my favorite movies. I love all the Rocky movies. every time it came up on cable, I would watch. Like they would do like the marathons, and I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but I don't care. They would do like the marathons, so I would watch from Rocky 1 all the way. I think at the time was Rocky 4.
You
I'd
can't.
watch them all.
You cannot, Garrus. You cannot forget Bridget Nielsen.
Oh, you can't forget Bridget Nielsen. She was hot. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. She was gorgeous in that. She was gorgeous in Red Sonja. She was a beautiful woman.
She was,
No, she
and
was. Go ahead.
Dolph Lundgren got to meet and act and work with a lot of the more iconic female actresses
Mhm.
of that era. I mean,
Yeah,
there were
he was
a few.
dating.
So
He was dating that model that was in Conan Destroyer.
mhm. I can't think of her name
Uh,
right now either.
I can't. Yeah, I can't think of her name either. I wish I could. Um, but anyway, so yeah, like I like it, like you, Greg. I think being able to create your own story within a game, or especially, I mean, TTRPGs. That's by and large, that's the box that they're in.
Right.
You can create who you're going to create. Um,
That's what I
what? Good.
appreciate the most about any game is
Mm,
being able to create my own story. I mean, and you can do that, like I said, virtually with any game. But when it comes to TTRPGs, that's what they're for. That's
yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah, that's exactly what. So for the audience, two questions. One, what is your kind of what are your top two go tos for enjoyment in a game? And I know we've asked this question before, but I like asking it because there are so many games coming out. Especially now that we're towards the end of the year, there have been tons of games that have come out that have really changed things up. One of them being Path of Exile 2, which again we'll talk about more in a little bit. But so what are your top two kind of factors that lead to enjoyment in a game? And what have you been playing lately? What games have you guys been tucking into and enjoying now that we're coming to the end of 2024? And for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, um, the Video Game Awards is going to happen tomorrow. I thought today was the 12th. We're actually going to have a live stream of that, but Greg informed me that today was the 11th. Um, and I had my days wrong. So
yes,
yeah,
indeed.
he had to let me know, like, hey, it's not the 12th.
Hey, I
But
felt
yeah,
bad
so
because you were so excited about that. I just kind of sat
was
there and looked at it for a little bit, and I thought, man, I'm gonna have to
I
burst
gotta
this
break his
bubble,
heart.
I guess. I mean,
Yeah, got to let him down easy. But yeah, absolutely. So yeah, audience, guys, Omangaris, Gemma, Froxy, what are y'all's what have you guys been playing? I know Omangaris, you've been playing a lot of Space Marine.
so as people prepare their answers, when it comes to what I've been playing lately, well, I've been playing a lot of Symborum. I've been playing a lot of
Mhm.
The Walking Dead, which um, and then 7 Days to Die as far as computer games go. I did start over Cyberpunk 2077 because
How many do overs is this for you,
well,
Greg?
see, I never actually myself played Phantom Liberty. So,
Ah, okay.
but here's the thing. I didn't want to just play, you know what I mean? I didn't want to just pick up from where I left off and play that. I kind of want to
Mm.
play all the way through.
Well, it's
And
good that you did that because Phantom Liberty does not. I'm not going to tell you where it picks up, but it doesn't pick up at the end of the
right,
base game. It picks up somewhere within that whole
somewhere,
story,
somewhere in
Mhm.
there.
which I
Nice.
actually I liked. I liked that they did that because a lot of games, the expansions typically pick up at the end of the story. I
So
like that they
it's not a
interwove things.
continuation. It's just part of the
Mm,
a blending
Yeah,
into the story. I like
yeah,
that.
and I like that change because it's first of all it's a change from what we're used to because again most
Mhm.
games they'll pick up at the end of the story. But Phantom Liberty, it weaves itself into the story, so things change for you. You see the world and you see Night City in a much different way.
So since we got on this, not the cyberpunk subject, but we got on the Walking Dead. So,
Mm.
and what better time to just talk a little bit about this? Because I got
Yeah.
a couple questions.
Absolutely.
I got a couple questions that I would like to also ask to the audience. One of those is, first off, not question wise, but I mean the AMC version Walking Dead it's a TTRPG published by Free League Press. And what if you had, like, if you were going to run a campaign in the Walking Dead universe, where would you want your characters to start? Would it be like Los Angeles or Atlanta or New York or I don't know, Puerto Rico? I have no idea. Where would you want your characters to start?
A Walking Dead situation. Where would
Mhm.
I want my character to start? London.
In London. Interesting. But
And the reason why I say that
yeah,
is because so many of these damn stories take place in the U.S. Give me the old world, damn it. and
there are several not Walking Dead, but zombie movies that take place in England and
true,
London.
like 28 days
Yep. 28
later,
weeks later.
which is 28 weeks, 28 days, whichever one.
Yep.
I think no, both of them take place over in the UK. But for me, I like even Fallout. The Fallout London mod that came out like that. I think they're part of the reason why lately I've been thinking, if I was answering your question, if I was put in that situation, put me in London, put me somewhere drastically different.
Neat idea.
Yeah.
Neat idea. I always wanted to scale it to be more of a Midwestern style thing, where not big city, but more
Mm.
out of the city, out of the popularized areas, rather than have it be like a Atlanta where you're headed for the CDC or you're all those type of things. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just reading through the
Australia.
comments. Australia, everything's trying to kill you in Australia. You got things that are this big, this fucking big that can kill
Who's
you.
worried about zombies? I mean, we got exactly.
Right? Like I'm worried about the spider, the fucking huntsman spider that's this big. Fuck the zombies. But yeah, let's go to the comments real quick. So according to Unholy Pawn, unfortunately, well, first of all, as Old Man Gary said, the Steam Winter Sale does start next Thursday, so keep your ear out for that.
Yes.
Because if you're looking for games for yourself or as gifts, it's time to get them. But Unholy Pawn says, I have no time for video games anymore. Sad face. But I like games where you can really customize your character and overcome challenges in creative ways. That is true. And Unholy Pawn, if you would, for me, elaborate what you mean creative ways, as in your decision as the player to attack them in creative ways, the systems in play within the game to attack situations in creative ways, or both married. So I know it's like a three-part question there. Falsity Project says 7 Days to Die with the Afterlife mod. And the only other game that they play is Dalmare. I've never heard of that one. And apparently D&D is the only TRPG that they play. Huh. I've never heard of Dalmare. I'm going to have to look that one up.
That's an interesting idea, Gareth.
Okay, so here's your start of a campaign. You and the party are asleep on a plane coming back from a 9-month stint in Antarctica. Pilot gets a message to not land and deviate, and you end up in Central or South America, where what you would be used to in the U.S. is not readily available. Oh shit!
Right?
That would
Interesting.
that would be
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's one to think. I mean, here's the thing: is you could start a game like that out anywhere you wanted to start it out, and go wherever you wanted to go in a doll factory.
Doll Factory, a horror game in a doll factory. Nah, you lost me at Doll Factory. Mm-mm. You know those really expensive lifelike dolls with the dress, like the really intricate dresses that they have like the really lifelike eyes that they're like super old and in some cases really really expensive because they're like those old school dolls that you see in horror movies. I hate that shit. You will never catch me in a fucking doll factory. Hell no. Nah. I'll burn that motherfucker down. Mm-mm.
Burning down doll factories.
No, hell no. Catch me
Wow.
if I ever end up in a horror situation in Doll Factory, best believe I'm burning that bitch down.
What about all the little kids out there? Wouldn't have their dolls because of you.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Oh well. Shit. Don't care. I lived. That's all that matters.
Sorry about your luck, kid.
Yeah. Better luck next Christmas, goddammit. Chucky. Oh no, Chucky. Here's the thing. Growing up as a kid, I was always afraid of Chucky. As an adult, I now understand that of the old school horror characters, he's a whole ass bitch.
Chucky. I don't know about Chucky, man. That bothers me. And
He's a
especially how
whole
that's modeled after like the Cabbage Patch Kids from, the
Yeah,
the
right?
80s. I mean,
Right?
yeah,
Jesus. Yeah. No.
Meg Tilly. Who's Meg Tilly?
Who the
I
hell is
lost
Meg
that
Tilly?
one. Yeah.
Meg Tilly. Wait, Meg Tilly. His what's her face? She now plays she's the actress who plays his Chucky's girlfriend, right? The female doll.
Ah, I maybe.
There we go. Yeah. What the hell is she in? I saw her. Her face looks so damn familiar. In other things, she's. I've seen her in other things, but I can't place it. But that's
She
an
is an Oscar
interesting.
winner. Yeah.
She's an Oscar winner.
Yeah. Yeah. Golden Globes too. Yep,
Damn.
Yep.
Okay. Shit. I mean, she's got chops. An Oscar winner and Golden Globe. Okay.
And
Excuse the fuck out of
I
me.
guess she's a writer too. How about that?
Oh,
Best
excuse the
supporting
fuck out of me,
actress
goddamn.
for.
Well, shit. Look at that.
Yes.
She ain't no schlub. I recognize her face, Oman Garris, and I know she's been in other things besides the Chucky movies. I just can't remember what, because I recognize her face.
Old Man Garris is like our encyclopedia for these things. It's fantastic.
Really, I don't know how he remembers all that shit, because I sure don't know. Yep, Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly. There you go. Well, okay, so Meg Tilly is a real person as well, because that's the one I looked up.
Oh, oh, she's the one. Okay, never.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I mean, she's done some interesting things. So, see, Meg Tilly's gonna get some recognition tonight because thank you, Garris. Hey, she starred in Psycho too.
That's where she was. Okay,
Yeah.
now I remember the face, because I was like, I know the face.
So
Face
not
looks
as
familiar.
bad as Chucky, but I mean, it's still Psycho movies were.
And I know we're not discussing video games or games at the moment, but how in the hell
What?
did the people in the Scream movie die? Explain that to me, please. How are you that dumb to die by a guy, just a normal guy, chasing you with a knife?
Tell you what, I'll
And
be
it's
right
not
back.
like it's not like they were in like some city where they were in the Midwest. I'm pretty sure. Like, get your
I-
go to any farmhouse. Go get yourself a shotgun. Blow his legs off. God damn it.
Yeah, no. Come on, they weren't. They were like Los Angeles or Sacramento or something, that area. Scream
Were they?
movies?
This is
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Well, okay, here we go. Now we'll look that up. We'll see.
They were high school kids.
In the first one, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. All right, I get. Yeah, okay. I guess they're stupid enough to get themselves killed.
Well, except for the few others that were in there that got killed as well.
No, I don't know. I've like those kind of movies where the guys just run at you with a knife or something. I'm like, I mean, it's different when Mike Myers is running at you with a damn knife. That's Mike Myers. The man is clearly not fucking human. Okay. And yeah, Matthew Lillard was great. Oh yeah, Foxy Project. I'm sorry. At that point, you're an adult. Go buy yourself a fucking gun. Okay. Shit. Freddy Krueger can take Freddy Krueger can take most of those horror characters. The only one that stands above them all, I don't care what you say, Jason Voorhees.
I was going to say, which Freddy Krueger now? I mean, that...
None of them.
Okay,
None
all
of
right.
Jason Voorhees is like that dude. He's built different.
Built different. No pun intended.
Oh, Unholy Pawn, serial killer. Yes, I love. Hackers is probably one of my favorite, cult classic movies. So cheesy, definitely not the way it's done, but it was so good. Angelina Jolie, chef's kiss.
I'll take The Creature from the Ring.
Oh yeah, I watched that as a kid one time and only one time. I made
Yeah, I think that even tops Jason Voorhees personally. But
for like a week, I made sure to unplug the TV.
Go for it. Geek out all you want, man. Yeah, Matt. Yeah.
Yep. Matt Lillard's gonna be at GaryCon. Okay.
He's actually somewhat of a regular for GaryCon. So.
Yep. Hackers with Angelina Jolie. Yes. Yep.
Yeah, Hackers with Angelina Jolie. That was kind of the I think that was the introduction to Angelina Jolie. I think that was her first role. Now watch,
I think so.
I'm going to make. I think it was though. I think Hackers was her first real, kind of her breakout role.
Yeah, there was quite a few actors. Johnny Miller, who I've actually met, great guy. I met him before. I met him when he was playing opposite Lucy Liu.
Oh, no, actually, it was Looking to Get Out in 1982. That was her breakout role, well, her first role.
Yep. Wow, we went down a seriously big tangent. But again, yeah, all of these. The thing is, with a lot of these movies and a lot of the stuff that we've kind of been talking about, for us, at least I know for me. We
should just label the stream, whatever the hell you want to talk about. We have a plan, but it doesn't really matter. So, we'll just, what do you want to talk about? We'll talk about it.
Yeah, maybe we need. Maybe that's what we should do.
Plan is good, though. I mean, it's good to have a plan because but it doesn't matter after a while.
I will circle us back to kind of
random rabbit holes.
A little bit. Is that for me? A lot of these movies, Hackers, Johnny Mnemonic, all of these movies that I watched as a kid, definitely inspired and kind of shifted me in the direction of quality storytelling. I mean, for depending on the genre, a lot of those movies, from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, they weren't the best looking, and some of them obviously weren't the best story wise, but they were all, at least in my opinion, all at least pretty good. They all have pretty good stories.
Yeah,
I don't really remember even like the B-rated movies. They were just enjoyable.
Garrus, I'm mostly off the rails anyway, man. So no worries.
Yes, Unholy Pawn. Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the face.
No, so circling back for just a moment, because what we did, the intention tonight was to have a little conversation about players and involvement, with games and the differences there, because some studios are actively listen to their players and make changes, do things based on that type of market research. And there are some other studios that pretty much don't listen at all to their players.
Yeah.
And then there's different degrees to it too, because you have studios that they listen to their players, sort of. They listen to the money.
Exactly.
So they listen to the players that spend a lot of money, and then the rest of you, I mean, it's put up or shut up, basically.
Pretty much.
So there's our segue. How about that?
Yeah, and to answer or to chime in on B-rated movies, yes, I have seen Ghost of Mars with Ice Cube. Great movie. Great B flick. Bloodsport's a classic.
Ghosts of Mars, I like that as well.
Yeah, Ghost of Mars was a good movie. Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme, absolutely classic movie.
A movie I really like that I'm sorry, I actually used some thoughts from this movie for the storyline on a project I've been working on for a long time. It actually is the basic idea behind Beyond the Wall, which is the cyberpunk campaign that I run for Gary
Yes.
Con. And that's Ghost in the Machine.
That's a good one. Ghost in the Machine's a good one. There's also a couple other movie inspirations. Well, actually, game inspirations that you've talked that we've discussed. By the way, for those of you who don't know, Gary, this coming GaryCon, Greg will be hosting and DMing the next. Was it 4?
The next
episodes?
4. Yep, the next 4 episodes.
Next 4. Oh, Wing Commander! God, that's a fucking classic.
And
Holy shit.
I'll be running 2 Walking Dead games as well.
Will you? Okay, I didn't. Oh, actually, I think you did mention that.
Yeah, I just added
have
that.
an idea?
Actually, just added that. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. But yeah, Greg. I mean, to kind of chime in with what you said, you do have, especially as we come to the end of the year, you're starting to see the studios, kind of the ones who are really paying attention to their player base, and listening and creating stuff or creating games not only that they want to create, obviously as a studio, there's something that you want to put out there. One of the perfect examples that come to mind for me, again, is Path of Exile 2. It's a game that Grinding Gear Games studio has put out that they definitely have been wanting to make for a while. But not only them, the player base have been wanting, not necessarily a new game. I don't think, especially early when the announcement of Path of Exile 2, I think a lot of the player base were expecting a new game. But that's essentially what PoE 2 turned into. and this I listened to a couple of interviews with Jonathan Rogers, who's the creative director and one of the founders, I believe, of Grinding Gear Games. Basically, to keep a long story short, him and the team found that a lot of the changes that not only the studio wanted but the player base wanted to see in the next iteration of the Path of Exile, IP, ended up being a completely different game than Path of Exile 1. Hence the birth of Path of Exile 2. They basically were like, hey, look, we're doing so many different things and we're changing so many different things. We're keeping the foundation, but we're adding some new stuff. Let's just create a new game. And thus you had Path of Exile 2. And the great thing about that is you're getting a new game for that's fixing a lot of the issues from the first game. You're getting a game that is a continuation of some of the story beats of the first game, set in the same universe, so it's familiar to returning players, but it also very much caters to the new player who has never played Path of Exile 1 and really fine-tuning a lot of the pain points of Path of Exile 1. But throughout the whole process, they've listened to players. Even now, still early access, they're listening to players' feedback, but not at the expense of the vision that they had for Path of Exile 2, which I really love and respect, because you have a lot of studios, and I'm not going to name names right now, maybe later, maybe in Discord. By the way, come join our Discord if you haven't already. That have really either catered to an audience that doesn't exist, or catered to and made a game for the lowest common denominator, and their games have flopped. So it's good to see there's studios out there are still listening, especially as we draw toward to the end of 2024. Space herpes, what the fuck?
Oh,
that's something to come
Nightbreed.
into.
Nightbreed was a classic for sure. I loved that one. Yeah.
Nightbreed.
Yes. Very,
Is
very.
that a movie?
Yeah, it is. You should go watch that. You would.
Nightbreed.
Yeah, it was very good. I actually love that movie.
I still look up Nightbreed though. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this looks familiar. This looks very familiar.
Very
I might
good.
have
Very
seen
interesting.
this.
That kind of storyline actually has always kind of been. We should, somebody should create a game based on that.
Really? Huh.
That's what I was thinking. Actually, the most recent movie is the one that I more or less took the ideas from. For one thing, because of the actress in it, I'm a big fan of her. But yeah, I really liked that concept. I know there was an animated version before that. I really loved that concept, and that genre, that movie, that's kind of cyberpunk-esque, but really I hadn't really seen anything in the cyberpunk universe that mirrored that. So that was the idea, is to kind of take that along that thought line and then make my own story out of it. And then we created a whole
Universal Soldier.
a whole chain of story out of that. So the original Universal Soldier was actually decent. I didn't mind that one too much. There was a lot
I loved
more.
Universal Soldier.
There was a lot more
Love-
actual story in that, because there was a believable path to it, sort of, where the Universal Soldier 2, it's just kind of, I don't know, that just became about the fight
It took more of an action turn.
Yeah.
Less story, more action. Yeah, Infinity Core, I agree. The first one was the best one, and then it kind of went downhill from there. It was another Jean-Claude Van Damme classic, Time Cop. Love that one.
Interesting.
Time Cop.
I liked Bloodsport, but that was all about fighting. So
Bloodsport was great. Loved Bloodsport. Bloodsport was good. Shit, so many classic movies. You know what was another good movie that they did a fucking a remake for that I wasn't too much of a fan of? Even saw a little bit. I saw maybe like the first like 10, 15 minutes and then shut it off. The Crow.
oh yeah,
The Crow was
yeah.
the original Crow. That was a phenomenal movie. The storytelling there. Oh man.
So I seen the other day that there is going to be a season 3 for the Amazon's Wheel movie. I don't even want to call it the Wheel of Time, but
Oh yeah. Oh, and the one was an amazing movie with Jet Li. Yeah. So they're gonna make a season 3, huh?
they are. Well, it's already being made. Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
yeah. Not a
The
not a huge
unfortunate
fan
part,
of that.
you know, I the Wheel of Time for Amazon.
Yeah.
The horrible piece to that is that they, I mean, I I hear you. Here's the sad part with it is that, you know, you're gonna take something iconic like that, okay, and even some of these other movies that have been remade, there are some remakes that are pretty good, but
Dread.
Dread, yeah.
That was
But
good.
like this thing with the Wheel of Time, it's you know, why even start that if all you're gonna do is, you know, your own, what is it, reimagining of the story, and it's, you know, you're not going to be able to complete it because people are just not going to be that interested, and especially once they see that it doesn't really follow the story at all. Yeah.
Look, oh man, Garrus. I like Sylvester Stallone's Judge Dredd. I do. I watched it as a kid.
I
It was
am the
great.
law.
Yeah, pretty much. I loved it. It was good. But Carl Urban's Dredd was just that much better.
I'm staying out of this one. Yeah, I know it, right? Yeah, my Sylvester Stallone's not so good.
Yeah, the modern one, the Carl Urban Dredd, that was good. That was really good. Matter of fact, I might go rewatch it. Such a good movie. But yes, I do like the original Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone and Rob Schneider. It was a good. It was a good. You know, I wouldn't say B-rated. It was like between B and A. It's not a B-rated movie, but it was definitely not an A-rated movie. One of the really good movies with him, Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Yep, Demolition Man was a really good one.
I don't mind. Sylvester Stallone is, I don't mind his movies. I mean,
No, you know what you're getting.
You do, exactly.
Yeah, you know what you're getting. Like, you
And
know,
he tries.
not to say,
he tries really hard to be, you know.
well, it's not that he doesn't come up with good stories. It's he comes up with a particular type of story, like Rocky, for instance. You know, looking back on it, you know, it was very simple, very basic story, but it was a good story. And you know, because yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a producer now as well. His new show, Tulsa King, which I've been watching, is actually pretty good.
Big story right now. Oh, well, absolutely. Well, big story dealing with Stallone right now is the situation with The View, which I don't want to talk about the political stuff, but look it up. You'll see.
Yes, that is a great scene on Mangaris. And wow, okay, I didn't know there was a lot of stuff going on with good old Sly and the View. Yeah, hmm, shit. I don't watch a lot of like TV and shit like that in terms of
I don't watch
that
any,
kind
but
of stuff.
somehow I come across
You
these
came
things.
across that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, your phone's listening. Phone's listening. Okay, so yeah, this is the other topic that I wanted to get into today, and um, oh great, another rabbit hole to go down.
we are like those, the classic hound dogs. We find the rabbits wherever they're hiding.
Oh
We
yeah,
find them.
that's right. So
Absolutely.
one topic of conversation Greg and I were kind of going to get into tonight. We're actually kind of starting it off screen. Influencers, YouTube personalities, Twitch streamers. How, in y'all's opinion, how much of an impact do you think they actually make and have on game sales? Duck season?
Yeah, we had a discussion tonight about this, and
Mhm.
definitely I'm curious to see what some of your thoughts are on that, because I feel that here's the thing with this. If you look at where people are paying attention, because there are some influencers out there that have really large audiences, and
They are.
and they have a lot of impact through those audiences. Here's the thing with it. I mean, some of them have audiences that dwarf the size of like some of your major media outlets. I mean, when you have people like, I gotta name some more political names just because they're the bigger ones and they're on both sides of the line or whatever. But Tucker Carlson, I mean,
Mhm.
he's got a bit bigger, he's got more reach now than he did when he was working for a syndicated channel.
Yeah, you are 100% right. Holy crap, Unholy Pawn knows Angry Joe. I'm not surprised you know the quartering, but I'm surprised you know Angry Joe. God, that guy's been doing game reviews and movie
Joe
reviews
Rogan,
for fucking ever.
absolutely. Joe
Yeah, Joe
Rogan has a
Rogan, yeah.
lot of influence. That's
He does. He does. I mean, look at who he has on the show.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Look who he has on the show. And the reason why I bring this up, just to give you guys some context, and why myself and Greg ended up in this conversation, because, and I'm sure you guys can Google this, but there have been some of the more recent games that have not done so well, that have flopped, and I will drop one name, Dragon Age Veilguard, and it's not the only one, but I've seen it often enough now that I'm actually wondering. Basically, they're calling out YouTube personalities and YouTube reviewers and streamers and whatnot as part of the reason why they failed. Basically saying they gave us a negative review, or they talked bad about the game, or whatever the case might be. That's why our game didn't do as well.
and it's the influencers' fault that they made
Yeah,
a
essentially,
shoddy
it's
product. I mean,
exactly.
they failed.
Exactly. Like that's basically part of where they're trying to lay the blame as to why the game failed. And again, whether you like Dragon Age Veilguard or hate it or whatever, that's beside the point. I have my feelings regarding that game. It's whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But I'm curious, for those of you who are out there. What do you think? Is there some validity to that argument?
To a certain degree, no publicity is bad publicity. To a certain degree. And it's simply because even if somebody comes out and says, "Yeah, this is garbage, this is junk," or whatever, they're bad people. Most, not all, but most people, in my mind, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think most people, if you're out there telling somebody this sucks, they want to see it. They want to see it. They want to see, okay, this guy says it really sucks. I want to see why it sucks. Do I think it sucks? And I know a lot of people that buy games specifically for that reason. They'll go out and see a horrible review, and they'll go look at the game. See, and if
And
it's,
it's like
I mean, if it's a $60-$70 game and somebody you trust or whatever is saying, yeah, this is garbage, you're probably not going to buy it. But if it's $10, I mean, what the hell? All right, I'll try this. They said it really sucks, so I'll give it a shot.
I want to see the train wreck.
Right, I've found some diamonds in the rough that I tried it and I'm like, hey, this isn't, it's not great, but it's not as bad as what you were saying is. And then I've found some that are just, oh my God, wow, I might as well just take that $10 bill out and burn it in a trash can.
Yeah. And to answer some of the comments here in the chat, let's see. Fox Project says, honestly, for game reviews, I look at Asmongold. I also watch Asmongold from time to time, not necessarily for game reviews, but just because he can be entertaining. He's an entertaining individual in his own way. Because he is, I will agree with you, Fox Project. He is very, or as neutral as you can be with regards to where he stands on things. When it comes to game reviews, he is very much, hey, I'm just here for the gameplay, the story, all the other shit can go fuck itself, and I agree with that.
Let's
old man Gareth said it failed because it's garbage.
You mention one
Personal
more
opinion.
One more thing to that too is, and not all, I'm not going to say every influencer is this way, but the reality of it is, I mean, if you want that stellar review, then you better pull your wallet out.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen it. And here's the thing, that's why a lot of media journalism is so suspect right now, because we've seen companies pay for good reviews, and it's been shown, like, hey, like they're willing to pull out big bucks for these outlets to say, hey, the game's great, go buy it. So it's like, okay, well, why should I? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because not only was that allegation made against streamers saying, hey, they're the reason why we failed, but it's also the reverse has been said by certain media outlets where they're saying, hey, you should trust us. Polygon, IGN, there's tons of writers out there saying, media journalists, games media journalists should be trusted. Essentially what they're saying, hey, you need to trust our word. We know what we're talking about. And then you have not even allegations anymore, but you have verified proof that these outlets are getting paid for positive reviews. It's like, wait, okay, how can I fucking trust you when they're putting money in your hand? But you're saying I can't trust this guy.
That's I mean, that's the major piece that's out there right now. Everything like the Forbes 500, companies pay to be on that list. The best employers lists that they put out every year, companies have to buy their spot. It's not like that this media outlet's going out and trying to find who the best. No, people buy their spot on it.
Yeah, and that's why I love having you here, Greg. I love having Old Man Garris. Oh, I love all of you here, because you guys, are you've built your careers in business, and so you kind of know that side of that particular line where, the layman can look at that, like you just mentioned, the best place to work, and think, oh, okay, well, their employees.
Hey, look, my company's on the best places to work list.
Yeah, like their
amazing
employees.
That I never knew that.
Yeah, exactly. Like their employees are the reason why
and
they got
I thought
on
this
that
place
list.
Sucked. What?
When in reality, it's because the company paid to be on that list. It wasn't because the employees voted for that. It's because the company shelled out money to this, this Bloomberg's list or whatever the fuck, and said, hey, put us on that, put us at this spot.
Right.
Because I don't think most people think about that, but it's interesting because, at least for me, because these media outlets, these game studios are acting like we can't find this information out. Like we can't peel back the curtain and look behind and see all the bullshit, because we've dealt with, like, there are people out there that's what they do. There's tons of channels out there that have people from inside those companies calling them like, hey, by the way, yeah, that game was ass. It was ass from the beginning, and this is why it's crap. It's wild. Like, and again, I'm gonna pick on Dragon Age Veilguard because I recently watched a video and you had people from BioWare Studios. You had some insiders come to this particular creator who, again, I always take it with a grain of salt, but they verified, hey, look, this person actually does work there, and this is what they told them. The game was doomed from the beginning.
So just catching a couple of the comments that are here real quick. So Foxy's saying, if you have to look at the story, if the story and the writing wasn't garbage, people wouldn't say it's garbage. And
True.
The players, yes, absolutely, because that's the true experience right there. And everybody's going to have a different opinion on whether something's good or bad, or if it's a good story, or because we all have different tastes.
Oh, absolutely.
When it comes to these the reviews and the interviews and things like that, it's hard to say. In answer to the question of do influencers have that much power that they can make or break a game? With their particular audience, I'm sure they do. I mean, if we had an audience of a couple million people and we went out and did a stellar review on a game system or a video game, we'd probably get some people to buy that game. If we went out and did a really bad, awful review on that game, we'd probably still get some people to buy that game.
Exactly.
So, I don't buy that with any group or studio that creates a product and then tries to lay blame. The blame starts with you. You really just got to look at that and say, hey, look, we obviously did something wrong. Maybe we have a really great product and we just didn't market it right.
The Empire's
That's a
Maybe
strong
you could,
possibility.
join it or something.
Hey, thank you very much, Brody.
Thank you, Brodicious. Yep. Welcome in, buddy.
But don't. That's the saddest part to it, is when you have a game that flops or whatever, a movie that flops, and you try to blame the people that you're trying to sell it to. It's like, well, you didn't buy it. You screwed me or whatever. Well, you didn't sell it to me right, or you didn't make it very good. The bad product. Do I think it's the influencer's fault because he or she said it's a bad product? I don't blame myself for, and I'm not, obviously not a big influencer, but I mean, I don't blame myself for what's happening with D&D 2024. Nor do I take credit for it.
Yep.
There's a lot of large influencers that have been paid to talk really big about that. And they're very careful about that. WotC is very careful about that piece, making sure of controlling who is talking about their game and what they're sharing and yada, yada, yada. You're Grognard too? I wanted to get to those comments too that are in here. So we have a few that we missed here, Rob.
Okay. Let's get to them.
Old Man Garrus actually is talking about the WotC controversy. They did the new D&D book with the YouTube reviewers, guaranteed views for the reviewer, early access to the material, and a promise that they'll be part of the review network. If you didn't do what they told you to do, then you got banned, never to be offered that opportunity again.
Jesus. How can these outlets and
a lot of smaller influencers just waited till the books came out. They're like, fuck that. You're not going to tell me what I can and cannot say. I'll just wait till the book comes out. I'll buy it myself and I'll do my review for my audience.
Yep. And that honestly, and that's kind of why I find it, in my opinion, I find it amusing that these media outlets like IGN, Polygon, et cetera, and the game studios are standing there with their whole ass chest saying, "Well, you can't trust them." When there's that, you're paying for reviews, and then when they don't do what you want, you're banning them. Now, granted, if they agreed to that contract and not doing what you want, then okay, they're in breach of contract. But the fact that you have to go out and create a contract to buy good reviews, that should tell you something about your product. That does not inspire a lot of confidence that you have to be like, okay, well, we need to go to these influencers, we need to convince them to review our game positively so it can help our like your game should be able to sell itself.
I'm in your corner, Unholy Pawn. Just tell him that I said that he should do it.
I'm trying to convince Elon to buy D&D and put me in charge. He hasn't responded yet. Unholy Pawn, like, you have my vote of confidence, man. You have my vote of confidence.
Just keep
I'll
keep at it, man.
Yeah.
You'll get it. You'll get it someday.
I would totally buy it.
Hey, move it back to Wisconsin. I would. That would be fantastic. Just not Lake Geneva. Not Lake
All
Geneva.
right, so let's see what else we. So Fox Project says, and the mainstream media has proven time and again they are biased and don't give honest reviews or even honest coverage of game studios. Look at what was said about the studio that made the Black Myth Wukong. What was the point of? Okay, Foxy, could you elaborate on that? Because I honestly, I had heard some stuff about Black Myth Wukong, but I didn't, and that's on me. I didn't really do a lot of digging into it. Only kind of surface level stuff. Um, I know from the little bit that I've watched and the reviewers that I follow, um, I'm for number one, it is actually in the running for Game of the Year for the Video Game Awards, so that's telling. But I do know it was a very well received game. People really enjoyed it. But can you elaborate on that comment a little bit more? Infinity Core says, "Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain." Yeah, it's definitely not the fucking wizard. That's what it is. To completely kill a game, no, and to draw attention to a game and call into decision, definitely. And I'm assuming you're addressing whether or not the influencers have the strength to kind of really affect the game. And I agree with you on that. To really kind of derail a game, no, but to put more eyes on it, yeah, for sure. Let's see what we have here. Blame the grognards and fanboys. I honestly, you know what? Blame us. Blame the fans. Blame the longtime fans. Blame the grognards. You want to know why? Because we're the motherfuckers out here actually spending the money, keeping whatever X hobby alive. Whether it be Warhammer, whether it be D&D, we're the reason why Hasbro fucking exists, and WotC exists. Hasbro, they sell toys and shit. So I don't think they're going
Well, I
anywhere anytime
mean,
soon.
we bought toys when we were kids.
True.
We bought
But,
toys for our kids.
yeah.
Now we buy
mean,
toys for our grandkids.
Yeah, so we're the reasons why these studios and these game companies are alive, like the fans.
Yeah. Any okay, thoroughly disgusted by the fact that one of these people who is, in charge of
Oh yeah, that guy.
anything with their games can, has the audacity to stand there and say that well, I'm just going to use myself because I'm here. I'm a grognard. My opinion apparently just does not matter. He doesn't even consider my opinion on anything, and because it's worthless and pointless.
It's so beneath him because you're not
absolutely.
as Foxy Project said. This game isn't for you. This game wasn't meant for you. Oh, okay, cool. Then I won't buy it. And now they're seeing. And again, I don't want to get into that kind of line of things where we're tearing down and bitching.
No.
But the facts are the facts. Okay, you're not creating a game for your audience. You're not creating a game for me, for people like me who want the same thing. We won't buy your product. But instead of kind of taking it on the chin and be like, okay, well, we said what we said, we did what we did. They're not buying our product. Okay, cool. No, they turn around and play the blame game. I'm like, well, you're the reason why. Well, no. I'm not spending my
No.
money because it's not for me. You're the reason why you're not making money because you didn't make a game for me.
Right.
I'll
But
tell you, buddy.
that's what they said. They said that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for me. So I mean, okay.
Yeah, it's not for me. Okay, I
right.
ain't gonna buy it then.
I
I'ma go buy
trust you,
something
man.
that's
It's
for
not
me.
for me. So I'm gonna go buy something else then. And you know what? I'm going to tell all those around me to go buy something else too, because I might like that new thing that I bought. And if I do, then I'm going to enjoy that, because this over here is just not for me anymore. They told me it's not for me. So I go try something new, and I like that. And it's a really good experience, a really good game system, which there are a lot of them out there. I mean, why would I not share that with other people? Why would I not tell other people, hey, you know, Pazio's got a really good game system too, very
Yeah,
similar
no,
to
absolutely.
what you're used to doing. I mean,
And
maybe
Fox,
try it
you're right.
out.
Yeah,
Free
they
League.
said that with their
Free
whole
League's got a
chest.
couple of fantasy systems that are, you know, top notch,
Yeah.
and they're not as complicated. They're
They're
very
not as
very
complicated.
simplified, good systems. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not as complicated. They're not trying to.
Yeah. But they're
They're
not
not trying
telling
to
me that
ship-
their product's not for me. This other group
Exactly.
is telling me that. So I mean, and I
Well-
believe them. I believe them. I'm gonna trust them on this, because that's what they told me. They told me
what
it's
I like
not for
about
me.
Free
So
League, what I like about Free League is they're not, you know, and a lot of these other companies that are, in my opinion, doing it right. And we've talked about it before, but I'm going to say it here. They're not pushing anything other than making a good game.
Right.
That's they're sticking to task. Make a good game, not tell someone how to live their fucking life. That's it. Oh god damn. So are you gonna get your money back, Unholy Pond? You're gonna return that shit? But yeah, Foxy Project, they definitely did say that with their whole chest. They like, he came out, you know, Jason Tondra, I believe is his name,
Yes,
and he said,
that's
as game, you know,
literally
I
what he
didn't even-
said. Is
Yeah.
that, you know, that he doesn't even consider the opinion
Yep.
of Grognod's, because we're irrelevant. Grognards.
Okay,
or
well, I
whatever
guess
the hell he
I'm
wants to call us.
irrelevant because I consider myself one of y'all. Because okay. If it ain't for me, then hey,
Right.
I ain't gonna buy it. And
I'm taking the
and-
guy at face value. I think he was being honest, and you know, just you know, I'm good with that. Okay, thank you. I
just trying
appreciate
to let
it.
me know that it
I
wasn't for me.
really
Yeah.
appreciate your honesty, and
Yeah.
I won't buy it because you told me it's not for me.
And here's the thing. That's kind of why I brought up that topic of conversation, because I feel like obviously number one, the whole you know, allegations of you know, influencers are the reason why X studio failed or X game failed. Complete bullshit. It's total bullshit. No, you failed. You failed your game by the way you handled the creation of the game. You didn't listen to the audience that you're trying to sell it to, and in some cases, you know, you were disrespectful to people, both trying to disrespect their intelligence and just being flat out disrespectful.
See, and this is how an influencer can influence those things,
Exactly.
because you know, you were shitty in your presentation. You either made a
Yep.
bad product, you marketed it wrong, and you know, okay, you got a target audience. I get it. I understand that. But does that mean that you go out and insult everybody who doesn't fit that category? Is that a good idea?
No.
You're going to narrow it down to the point where the only people who are going to buy it are this little target segment that you're aiming at, because you've told everybody else that they suck. They don't know anything. Their opinions don't matter, and that you don't care. It's not for them.
Yeah. And I mean,
Okay.
here's what it boils down to for me. Studios have to stop trying to make a statement. Stop trying to. I don't know. I think make a statement is the best I got right now, because I can't even think of the fucking words. Stop trying to make a statement. Shut up. Put your nose Put your head down, put your nose to the ground.
Just
So
make a
up
good
fucking
product.
game.
Just make a good
Just make a good
product.
fucking game, for fuck's sake.
Make a good product that everybody enjoys. People can sit down, tell some good story, and have some fun.
Yeah,
That's the point. It's a game. Have some fun.
yeah. Like that's it. Just and stop. And here's the thing: take ownership. Take ownership for when you fuck up. There are plenty of studios who have done that and have won back the goodwill of their audiences. Take a
CD
page out of their
Projekt
book.
Red.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red. They they got egg on their face. They took it on the chin. And again, you might agree that they still have some making up to do. Whatever, I don't care. In my opinion, they took it on the chin. They didn't give up on Cyberpunk 2077. They improved it. They got it to where it needed to be, and then some. And then they came out with Phantom Liberty, which was fantastic.
Garrus, I think you hit on something right there about the catering to the loud few, because obviously the market research that's being done is if there's any market research being done, I assume there is telling them this. But I'm really curious where what are you doing? What kind of research are you actually doing, if you're doing any? Because I don't see it. And I'm not gonna say I'm everywhere looking at everything again, but I'm pretty active in the games world. And yes,
I don't see it either.
I mean there.
Actually, no. You know what? I know where they're doing their market research. Reddit.
Maybe.
Fucking Reddit. Oh boy, Reddit.
Typing time. All right.
Typing time. Oh boy.
I'm excited now.
Fosse Project. I just answered that one. Reddit. It's fucking Reddit. I'm being sarcastic, but
it's not Reddit. Garrus says it's not Reddit.
No, it's not Reddit.
I'm really curious, because I can understand if it was Reddit.
I'm being 100% sarcastic.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of really good stuff on Reddit. There is. I mean, there's some content, some homebrew content on there for many game systems, and I don't want to discourage anybody from going and checking some. There's some garbage on there too, but
there is. I mean, it's Reddit. You're gonna find piles of shit and diamonds, all in one neat little subreddit.
It's free.
It is exactly. It is what it is. I 100% echo what Greg said. Reddit, for all its faults and shortcomings, the D&D community on Reddit. Certain sections of it are great. The homebrew community especially, they've come out with some really, really cool stuff. They have come out with some duds, depending on who's posting it. But for the most part, you can find some really good ideas on there. And my it's Reddit comment was mostly sarcastic. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a small portion of their market research came from Reddit, because I do know that at least some people that work at WotC are active on Reddit in some form or fashion. Take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I mean, old man Garrus, you said know your audience, do your market research, 100%. Don't cater to the loud minority. Stop. They're ruining. They're actively ruining products. Last episode of Mandalorian season 2, there was not a single white guy in the room until someone showed up, and nobody cared to notice because the characters were awesome. Good stories don't focus on current political, social debates. They focus on good story, interesting characters. Absolutely, absolutely.
100%, man. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. Take all the the political modern or whatever shit. You want to. I don't even want to call it modern. It's just bullshit. That's what it is. But you take all that out.
No, current day political bullshit and social bullshit out. Take it out of it.
Why call it anything other than what it is? Much crap. That's what it is. It's stupidity. I mean, why even, what I mean? Take all the garbage out of there and just tell a good story. Stop worrying about, all this nonsense, and just tell a good story.
Well, this is something that I think the gaming industry has forgotten about the player base. And I mean the player base at large. whether you're playing a TTRPG, whether you're playing a video game, whatever genre of video game that you're playing, doesn't matter. I think the gaming industry has forgotten one crucial thing. We don't play video games and play games in general to be reminded of the day-to-day shit that we have to deal with. We play these games to take a break from that. So to sit there and think, oh, we need to bring that into our game because that's what people want, you missed the fucking mark, my man. You missed the mark.
The unfortunate part is that argument actually goes both ways. That particular argument actually can go both ways. It can. And it really just comes down to, you know, why are we so worried? When it comes to a story base, all right, and that's what a game is. It's a story base, especially a TTRPG. It's a story base that you use to create your own story. So why be so worried about making that story base be as politically correct for everybody as possible? You know, there's a little thing when it comes to marketing. Because marketing essentially is talking to people in one way, one form or another. There's different forms to that, different ways you can look at it. But here's the thing: when you're going to market something to somebody, you do have to appeal, and to be able to appeal, you do have to have a target audience. You absolutely do. You got to have this particular subset of people that, you know, we're aiming at these people. Don't screw up the message. But what you don't do is tell everybody who's not part of that group that they don't matter. That's where the mistake comes in. Budweiser, you know, perfect example right there, because then they completely screwed up their marketing because they decided they were going to change they totally, I don't know, forgot what their customer base was built off of.
Yeah.
What a bad idea. And here's the thing. I'm not saying they shouldn't, you know, try to aim at a different market, but to go all in like they did and completely alienate the base, their base. Yeah. Right. That's insane. Did you really want to go bankrupt? Because that was what you were trying to do, whether you realize it or not. I mean, you were going from being a major player to being not here anymore with that.
Oh no, yeah, I first of all, I completely agree with everything that you just said. Oh man, Garrus, they've completely, yeah, they're listening to folks who, and I'm gonna be nice here, as nice as I can be, who don't know what the hell they're doing. In some cases, it shows, and it's showing because again, they're losing money by the bags. So that's one case. But on Holy Pond, Driss Do'Urden he's the face of D&D. He's one of the most recognizable characters in that series.
I don't know if I agree with that statement, by the way.
I mean, he in my opinion, he is. He's one of the most recognizable characters.
There you go. It's an opinion. I like that. That's an opinion. I have a different opinion, but okay.
But yeah, the Drow are evil. Point in case, they're evil. They have slaves. They're murderers. They do all kind of heinous shit. And like that's by default. That's their whole society.
The Drow are misunderstood.
And then women are the top of the food chain in that society. But they won't do anything with that because it's too dark. You know, or certain things that I don't want to go into right now. But I have some comments on that we can talk about later.
Why the whole underworld concept has been basically dropped. They completely destroyed Ravenloft and the concept there. I mean, And if you're gonna tell a story about bad people, then they got to be bad people.
Exactly.
I mean, that's as simple as it gets. I mean, if you're, you want to tell a story that you're going to go fight the bad guy, and then as it turns out, the bad guy isn't really so bad. I mean,
He's just misunderstood.
what the hell? I mean,
Yeah, it's stupid. No. If let me put it this way, in the case of Strahd in Ravenloft, if I'm going into to an area that's literally called the Domain of Dread, I'm expecting some heinous ass shit. Not someone who's misunderstood. No. Give me someone who's unapologetically fucking evil.
mind flares.
Yeah. They're also just gross.
Well, you notice nobody said no, but nobody tries to tell any nice stories about mind flayers because I mean, no
Right.
matter how you twist that, they crack your head open and eat your brain. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no nice about it. It's just simple. They get hungry, crack your head open, and eat your brain.
Or that one race in Spelljammer. I think either the race
The
was
Gith?
former slaves.
Gith Yankee.
No. It was this new Spelljammer. It was the most recent Spelljammer edition they put out for fifth edition. It was either one of the races was either former slaves or they owned slaves, and someone got a hair up their ass and D&D retconned that. Why? Slavery is a real thing. Okay, so what if it's in a fantasy setting? Who gives a shit?
I think that's perfect. It should be in a fantasy setting.
Exactly. It should be explored in a fantasy setting, not in real life. Even though it still okay. And here I'm gonna get a little dark here, but slavery still exists, people. Whether you want to believe it or fucking not, slavery still exists in many parts in the world.
I think the point that they're trying to make is this idea. It takes it a little bit. Okay, Morgan Freeman made the statement about if you want what is it, racism to stop, then stop talking about it.
Stop talking about it. Exactly. Stop talking about it.
I understand.
Yeah.
To say, okay, well, stop talking about it means just ignore it like it doesn't really exist or never did. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. And take it out of our literature, take it out of our games. That sounds like some Nazi shit to me. Where we're just gonna scrub all our literature of this, and that will make it go away.
George Orwell is rolling over in his fucking grave because he's like, guys, did you not? I wrote a book on this.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote a book on this. I outlined exactly what this looks like. Are you not paying attention? Pretty sure they probably don't even fucking have people read 1984 anymore. That's probably why you got a bunch of morons. Exactly. Those who do not understand are doomed to repeat it. And yeah, we're scrubbing aspects of our history out of things, and it doesn't need to be. Don't focus on the negative, obviously, but teach it, understand why we don't do it anymore. But but again, back to, on topic, but to get so bent out of shape because evil things exist in a fantasy game. Really?
I can't imagine what it would be like to play. I mean, tabletop RPGs. If it was all just,
Sunshine and Rainbows.
Yeah.
I'd go to fucking sleep. I'd fall asleep right at your table.
Every RPG was designed after the Care Bears, and you had to be a Care Bear.
I'd fall asleep right at your table, right in front of you. I'd put my fucking head down because that'd be the most boring fucking game ever.
I love these sessions. It's like nap time, man. Perfect.
Exactly. I'd be like, yo, I get some good sleep. I get some good sleep. Every time I come here, I got a good nap in, a good 2-hour nap. I'm good to go. Jesus Christ. But hold on,
2 hours. Where you been gaming at? That's got to be at least 4 or 6 hours. I mean,
true.
Garrus is telling us another story, so I was waiting to see what that is.
Okay, so let's look at WotC and why they're doing this. Their core players already love 3.5 or older. True. I'd actually Goldman Garrus. I'd go back to third edition, and or rather, yeah, 3.5 and backwards. Yeah. But the new player base is coming in because of streams on Twitch or YouTube. That is, yeah, it's true. That's true. And that all about the show and production value. So you want to make it a product that those people will keep using, as opposed to either use Pathfinder or know all the other graces. Yeah, I honestly, I think you're spot on there, Old Man Garrus. People are coming in off of the back of things like Critical Role and all that. Well, and here's the thing with that, because even in Critical Role, like. They didn't shy away from the ugly things in those productions.
Mhm.
Well, at least the earlier ones. I don't know about their newer stuff. I haven't watched any of that stuff, so I could be, they could be kind of lightening it up. So
I promise you that I will not be completely unsympathetic to people in games that we play, but I'm not going to shy away from things just because they're emotionally charged. Matter of fact, I will probably look more in the direction of things that are emotionally charged, because
here, good stories are that way. Good stories are that they draw emotion out of you. They draw some kind of reaction out of you, positive or negative.
right.
That's what a good story is supposed to do. And I'm not saying that good stories and good games need to have all these dark and horrible themes in them. But as we said in our last episode, good story, quality storytelling is built off of the back of conflict. Whatever the conflict is, there is some form of conflict, because conflict is the element and the catalyst for change in the case of a story, the protagonist. In the case of a TTRPG, the players at the table.
I was about to say nobody, but I'll say, the vast majority of people do not want. They don't want to watch or listen to or be a part of a story where all that happens is you get ground down. That's not a good story. And
no, that's not.
I get it. If that's what you have in your head, if that's the vision you have in your head of what's going to happen, is that if you introduce something like slavery, that it's going to be all about just slaves and being a slave or trying to avoid being a slave, whatever that happens to be. That, okay. Yeah, no, that's not good story.
That's a bad storytelling.
Yeah. Nobody wants to, no one. No one. Again, I'm going to say everybody does not want to do that. They don't want to be part of that. They don't want anything to do with that. But putting that element into your story and then allowing your characters, your cast, the people who are playing with you or telling the story, to interact as the protagonists and find ways to overcome it. I think that's beautiful. That's absolutely perfect. Right. Now you're a dick if you're a DM who just beats them down all the time with it, and you can never get it overcome. No. Yeah. You got to have that's the important part about any game. Infinite and finite. Okay. The idea is that if you're doing a short thing, if you're doing a one shot, then yeah, it's finite. There's a beginning, there's the time you play, and there's an end. But most of the time, people, and like campaigns through TTRPGs, okay, if you're running a game for like a convention, that's a finite game because you have so many hours, you have so many players, and you're running through a story with that. And people expect that. They're going to start the story out and they're going to end in a certain place or doing a certain thing or accomplishing something, or maybe they died. I don't know. But most campaigns, the idea behind them is they're infinite campaigns. So if that sense of being infinite is to continually be beat over the head with something, nobody wants to do that. You're not going to keep that game going. You're not going to keep players playing that game. They have to feel as though their actions and the things that are going on, the beats in the story basically are progressing them. They're making a difference. That's important. Not everybody's going to be Rosa Parks. But I mean, hey, you might be the lady who sat behind her. I mean, maybe.
Yep. Yep. Let's see what we got here.
Red Wizards of Thay are huge slavers. They absolutely are, and they're being written out, from my understanding, of Greyhawk.
Are they?
Yeah, I seen that somewhere, that the emphasis was completely. Ooh, let me pull him back in here. His internet has been a little shaky, so I'm surprised that it lasted that long. Welcome back, man.
Yeah, I'm back. Thank you.
Yeah, I had heard somewhere that they were writing out, or they weren't going to spend time on Thay, and they weren't going to spend time on the Scarlet Brotherhood. Those two areas were basically going to be kind of glossed over in the reintroduction to Greyhawk, or written out entirely. I don't know. Which I think is just, it's sad. I mean, those are some bad folks. I mean, they are some really bad folks. But you gotta have a bad guy, and you gotta have a bad guy that is really bad. That just gives you that, you know what I mean? It gives you that. You always have something in front of you, the next goal, the next thing, and overcoming something like that. You know, the Thay. The Red Wizards of Thay. I mean, the ultimate lich. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not Vecna.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. No, it's not. But
well, right. The yin and yang idea. Yeah, they did. Greyhawk had slave lords. You know, that balance piece is for you know, if you're gonna have really good things, then you gotta have really bad things. Otherwise, you know, you're just eating oatmeal without any sweetener.
Yep. But yeah, that's that. I mean, that's just it.
I think this is the longest episode we've had in a little while.
Yeah, it has been. It's a good conversation. I think the movie conversation kind of took us off the beaten path for a little bit there.
The good guy is the guy who convinces the tavern to recycle. Yeah, that for some reason that
I guess
just
so.
yeah. What do you say to that? I'm you got me. You got me. Convincing the tavern to recycle. I think a lot of taverns recycle. I don't know. I don't go to taverns much, but I hope they do. I hope they recycle some things. All right. So you want to talk a little bit about what we are doing as we come into the holidays?
Yes, let's do that.
Well, we had talked about doing something with the Game Awards. Tell you what, how about if I don't know if I'm going to be able to don't know if I'm going to be able to do that tomorrow night. So if we do something with the Game Awards, how about we do it in the Discord channel?
Yeah.
So we won't stream it.
Yeah. We won't stream it, but you know,
we'll bring it up in the Discord channel and watch the Game Awards and give you guys some commentary. And hell, you can have some chat with us as well.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to jump in.
Invite your friends.
It's going to be tomorrow.
It's free
7:30.
tomorrow only.
Yep. So we'll see how that goes. But what else do we have for the?
So this
last
coming Saturday,
2
we
weeks?
launch episode 1 of The Walking Dead.
Greg's been wanting this for a long time, so he's excited.
I'm excited for it because we put together a really unique story for it, and this first episode for sure it's probably going well. It'll be a stream. It'll be seasons, episodic. We are, you know what? I don't even want to tell any details about it. Just be
No,
there.
just keep it. Just let it be a surprise. Yeah.
Just show up. Pay, watch the stream. Engage us. It'll be fantastic. There's also going to be an opportunity if you are interested for. Oh, it's going to be so good. Yes, it is. There's going to be an opportunity for the audience to be able to buy themselves a guest appearance, not paying with money. It's just channel points. But you can use your channel points to buy yourself a guest appearance on a seat at the table for at least one session. I think that's awesome, and really looking forward to having some folks take us up on that. Probably so. Episode 1 will be this coming Saturday at 7:00. Or 6:00. I'm sorry, 6:00 Saturday. We haven't planned episode 2 yet with the holiday. I kind of got to talk to the team and see when we want to do that. But right around the time that we do episode 2, we are also going to do basically an introduction to the system. Talking a little bit about the Walking Dead system, the universe itself, and we are also going to have Matthias Johnson on, who is the lead creator and the manager of that IP for Free League Games. So really looking forward to that. I do want to do a quick shout out because there are some really cool people out there who we've talked to, and in the area that we're starting this game. So I'm going to give the location. So our game is going to start out in Boulder, Wyoming, and we would just like to, thank the people of Boulder, Wyoming for working with us and giving us some history and background for their area, and just everything that they've shared with us to help us tell this story. Thank you very much, and hopefully we do your little area of the world, which is beautiful, by the way. Hopefully we do it proud with our telling of The Walking Dead.
Absolutely.
That's all I got, man.
Yeah. So next Wednesday, episode 79 of the update log, as usual. Tomorrow there's a good chance we'll do something with the VGAs. Keep your ear out on X and on the Discord primarily to see when that goes up. Because again, it's kind of our first time doing it, so there might be some bugs to work out. And then Saturday, again, what time, Greg? Would it be 8:00?
No, Saturday will be 6:00. 6 o'clock Central.
Okay.
Yep.
6:00 Central, so 7:00 EST, my time.
Yep.
We will be sitting down for episode 1 of The Walking Dead.
Awesome. Thank you all very much for being here tonight, and
Yep.
look forward to seeing you Saturday.
Absolutely. You guys have a good evening and a good rest of your week. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
Tell you what, I think I am going to I'm going to raid this out. Yep. I see Stormy is still on, so I will raid over to his channel, and we'll go see Storm. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go over to Chaotic Good Gaming. Another guy that's part of the GaryCon organization, also a streamer. So yeah, show him some love. If you're not part of his channel, check it out. We'll jump over and see him.
All right. Whew.
And it's going to take a couple minutes now because I'm like a pro at this rating thing, I tell you.
Greg is perpetually late on the rating.
I am. All right. Everybody have a good night. Thank you.